Hi, everybody. My name is Neil Thompson. I'm the founder of Teach the Geek. It's an online platform for science and engineering professionals. The first offering of the platform is Teach the Geek to Speak. It's a public speaking course. To learn more about it, you can go to teachthegeek.com. Again, that's teachthegeek.com. As a professional coach, Kanika Tolver gets her greatest joy from helping people realize who they are and where they wish to be. She does this as her work as CEO of Career Rehab, LLC. She's also a speaker whose topics include how to make a career change into tech, how to make six figures in tech, and a game plan for African Americans in the tech industry. She's quite qualified to speak on tech as she has a bachelor's degree in computer technology and a master's in information technology. Welcome to Teach the Geek Interviews, Kanika.
Hey, thank you. Welcome. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so where exactly did your interest in tech come from?
My interest in tech came from, as a young child, I was really interested in the internet, like back during the dial-up times, when we had dial-up internet and we had like AOL Instant Messenger. So I was really infatuated with the idea of like, wow, I can go on the web and I can like surf the internet and I can find out all this good information about stuff. So it was back during that time that I said I wanted to go into college after high school and major in computer technology.
Oh, okay, that's pretty interesting. And so I never even knew there was a major of computer technology. I've heard of computer science, computer engineering. How exactly is computer technology different from them?
Well, at my school at Bowie State University, they have a computer science department and they have a specialized bachelor's program where you can do computer technology with a specialization. So you can actually specialize in networking administration, internet technology, database administration, or you could, specialize in maybe some things like with the arts, like graphic design. So I decided to go into internet technology, which that's focused around creating, products for the web. So websites at the time was real popular. So internet technology was my specialization. So you don't have to take all those required computer science courses. You take your core courses in computer science, but your specialized courses is in internet technology.
Oh, okay. And I also mentioned from the intro that you ended up going and getting your master's as well. What motivated you to go on to graduate school?
I started my graduate program. I didn't finish my graduate degree because my husband had brain surgery at that time, so I had to stop. But I started my master's program at UMUC, which is University of Maryland University College. So it just was a tough time in my life because I was newly married and I also had a personal like situation with my husband having brain surgery. So I didn't finish my degree.
Oh.
So yeah, but I went in for database systems because I was interested in learning how to create database systems at that time.
Okay. Any interest in eventually finishing it?
Probably so. Probably maybe next year I'll go back. Right now, this year my focus is writing my book and continuing to build my speaker platform. So right now, I just started a new job, so I don't really have a lot of time this year to probably focus on this. So I have a few more classes left, so it was an online program, so I definitely think that I probably should finish it out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, so, I also mentioned, in the intro that you have this business, Career Rehab LLC, but you didn't just start there. You certainly had positions before that. And, working as a coach is pretty, I think pretty neat. People definitely out here need help and probably don't know, what to do. And so just having somebody to speak to, even if it's just as an accountability partner, but even just getting some strategies as to how to move forward is really important. How did the job that you had before Career Rehab help you in, I guess, becoming confident enough to become a coach?
People always ask me when did I decide to become a career coach. So I've been career coaching for the last like four or 5 years, and being in technology in the industry for like 15 years, I just seen a lot of things being on the government side and private sector side. And I just wanted to share my knowledge on how I was able to, make six figures by the age of 27 and how I was able to move up the career ladder. So I just started off writing resumes, honestly. I started helping people with their resumes and they started getting job interviews. And then it kind of spiraled into coaching because people started asking me, they had different career problems and issues, kind of spiraled into career coaching. So people come to me for all types of coaching, like salary negotiation. They want to do interview coaching, how to deal with certain difficult situations with sexual harassment or diversity inclusion problems on the job. So I have dealt with majority of those issues in my career. So I just like sharing, being very transparent.
The majority, or I shouldn't say majority, but the clients that you have, are they ongoing clients, or is it kind of a one-off thing, kind of like a project where there's a beginning and an end?
So most of my clients, they come to me for maybe about anyway from probably the 3-month program is the most popular, where I focus in on helping them land a new job or do a career change. So that requires us to revamp their resume. It requires me to meet with them on a monthly basis and check in with them as they do their job search. And also as they land their job, I'm walking them through the process of salary negotiation, how to actually apply to the right positions that align with their career brand. And until they get that job offer that they desire, it could range anywhere from 3 to 4 months time span. So some people, I just do their resumes, they pay me, and then they're on their way because they're kind of like, senior level in their industry, and they don't really need a lot of extensive career coaching. But majority of the people that I work with, we work together for about 3 to 4 months.
Oh, okay. And the people that you work with, how do they typically find you?
Through kanikatolver.com. A lot of times through social media. I do a lot of social media marketing with my clients' successes. So a lot of time it's Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn.
Okay, excellent. You mentioned that you're working on a book. Out of curiosity, what's the book about?
Well, this is, I haven't really told anyone, but I did sign a book deal with Entrepreneur Media Press. They actually own entrepreneur.com. So I'm actually writing a book called Career Rehab, and it's really about restoring and renewing your career. It's really something that's going to be powerful coming out in 2020, where I'm going to be talking about how it's okay to be in a bad place within your career, but this is how you strategically get to a place where you can move from a job that you hate to a job that you love, or you can move from an industry that is something that you don't want to do anymore, and you may want to go into tech. So it's going to be really about helping people rehab where they are right now in their career and building up. So I'm excited about the project. I just started meeting with my editor this week, and that's really what the book is going to be about. It's going to be about teaching people how to network like a hustler, how to brand themselves by dating jobs. We're going to talk about how to, be a corporate rebel with having authentic career brand. It's just a lot of exclusive stuff going on in the book that I'm excited about. So I never told anyone. You're the first to know that this is happening. So yeah.
Oh, wow. I get the exclusive. The only reason I even mentioned it because you mentioned it.
Yeah, because I just signed the publishing deal like a couple of weeks ago. So I plan on doing a formal announcement with a marketing strategy behind it. But because you asked me, I'm going to tell you. So yeah, it's happening.
Well, thank you for that. Hopefully I didn't let the cat out the bag. But yeah, that all sounds.
No, it's okay. It's contract already been signed. So I just started writing the introduction in chapter 1 this weekend. So like I said, it won't come out until January 2020.
Okay. Wow. That sounds really interesting. That sounds really exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So the reason I even know who you are is because you were moderating a panel at the Blacks in Technology conference last October in Minneapolis, and I was there for most of it. Well, maybe okay. I was there for some of it. I got tickets to go to Paisley Park, so I left early. I didn't, when I first got there, I didn't even know that was even possible. It was actually at one of the breakfasts. I think the first day. I was sitting with somebody who said they were going to Paisley Park or they went to Paisley Park the day before. I was like, wait, you can actually do that? So I got on my phone like right at the breakfast and got a ticket, and I went, I think, the next day.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool to see where Prince lived and all his stuff and all the history. But so I know obviously because you were the moderator of this panel, public speaking must be I would assume part of your business with Career Rehab, or just is it just in general, or well, maybe I should ask, is public speaking a platform that you use as part of your business? And if so, how have you been able to use it?
Yeah, I do a lot of public speaking. I do a lot of public speaking at colleges, helping, career, helping students with mapping out their career. So I've spoken at Trinity College, Bowie State University that I attended, some community colleges here. I've also speak at other high schools, like, for different programs that I've assisted with, like career day. And then I've also spoken at government agencies. So I've also spoken at, government agencies with helping with technology. So I am a technologist by heart. That is my field. So I have done tech talks and career coaching talks. But I got the gig with Blacks in Technology is because we actually did another podcast show about women in tech getting the pay that they deserve. And they thought that would be great to moderate. Now, that was my first time moderating. I'm usually always on the panel. So being a moderator was different because I'm always being asked the questions. So I had to do a lot of research, but I think the type of response that we got back from the panel was amazing. So I think it's a good fit to be a moderator and a speaker.
Oh yeah, for sure. I've moderated some panels too, and you're right. There definitely is a little more work involved because you have to come up with the questions. You kind of have to keep track of time and make sure that one person doesn't really kind of dominate the conversation.
Right.
So making sure that everybody else that kind of has their time to speak and all of that. So yeah, there's definitely some work involved. I thought, at least for the time that I was there before I left, I thought you were doing a great job.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it was my very first time, but I think it made me understand how important it is for you to manage the conversation too, right? Because you want the conversation to be entertaining to the audience. So you can't ask questions that are not good, because then the audience is going to be like, why is she asking these dumb questions? So I definitely think it's important to be a moderator and a speaker. If you are a speaker, sometimes it's good to moderate.
Yeah, for sure. So you mentioned that you do speaking engagements at colleges, high schools, government agencies. How do you go about getting these engagements?
A lot of times people reach out to me. I've been blessed that a lot of times people ask me to come speak. Then I do pitch myself to speaking engagements as well. So one thing that I do is I do have a speaker one sheet. I do have a professional bio. I do have an email pitch letter. So anybody out there that is interested in becoming a speaker, I think it's important for you to have a pitch letter that you can email to people to see if they're interested in speaking. But I actually do apply to speaking proposals as well, which is a little bit separate, where you have to go through the formalized process of filling out the proposal to see if you're a good fit.
What type of organizations or I guess entities do you pitch to?
My focus is women in tech conferences. I focus on, of course, African American and tech conferences. I focus on just non-women and non-minority conferences as well, like conferences that are open up to everyone. And I also try to focus in on making sure that I utilize my career brand, which is more tech in government, to actually, try to participate in talks within government tech as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great idea. Even just for myself, there's a lot of people out there that I mentioned in my intro that I have this course, Teach the Geek to Speak, and it's geared towards people that work in the science and engineering fields. And the reason I even focused on that niche is because I'm a part of it. I worked for a number of years in medical devices as a product development engineer, and I noticed that a lot of the engineers, including myself at first, weren't very good at getting up in front of people, decision makers, vendors, customers, whoever it was, and speaking about what we do. We weren't good at it at all. And so I noticed that in myself and others. And so I made it my mission to become a much better public speaker. And it's made all the difference. Having that technical background is great, but if you're not able to communicate it, especially to decision makers, that could be the difference between a project getting canceled or getting approved. So I definitely saw the need in it, and I focused on that niche specifically. So the fact that you're focusing on, African Americans in tech or women in tech, just tech in general, I think it's smart.
Yeah, yeah. And I think career development is something that is going to be bigger for me as we move forward with the book, is working with corporations and organizations that want to help their workforce, build their brand. Because I think sometimes people look too much at themselves as an employee. And I think I focus on making my audience feel like they're a brand. So I think as I build this speaking platform for career development, I'll probably be doing a lot more career development talks and career advice talks as well.
I think that's an excellent point in people seeing themselves as brands as opposed to just employees, because especially in this day and age, I don't know the days of, working for a company for, 40 years and then, getting a pension. I think, didn't they used to get a gold watch or something like that? And then they go off into the sunset. Like, I didn't know that life. At least in the U.S. and, where you have at-will employment, you could be an employee one day and, an ex-employee the next. So it's really important to be able to brand yourself so that, you're able to navigate to different jobs and even into different industries. So that's smart that you're working on that.
Yep. So that's what's coming up probably for 2019 and 2020 is that. So
excellent. So you were a moderator at this panel that I attended. You also do speaking engagements at colleges, high schools, and government agencies. Have you always been good at public speaking? And if not, what have you done to get better?
I've been doing speaking for, I would say, off and on for about 7 years. I don't think that I was always good at it. I think that over time I found my voice and my niche. The things that I really love to do is I love to have a conversation with the audience versus me just talking to the audience. I think that has helped me build my brand because I'm a very I try to be an authentic person, I should say, and I try to be very relatable. So that makes me feel extremely comfortable. It calms my nerves. It makes me feel extremely excited about what we're going to be talking about. And I think that's a good tip for those that are new speakers, is to find your niche and find your voice and find your audience. I know my audience is primarily going to be women in tech, African American women, and people in tech. So that is extremely important that you do that, is that you know who your key audience is, and then you identify what they think that they need to hear. So that's kind of like how I kind of just evolved. I did a lot of free speaking engagements in the beginning.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's how most people kind of start out, when you don't hardly have any kind of I guess experience in speaking. You do the free stuff first, but then you're able to use those free speeches to be able to say, I have experience giving speeches. So then that kind of evolves into getting paid speeches. But as I think I mentioned earlier, I think it's really smart that you decide to niche as opposed to being, I'm all things to all people. That's just not I don't think it's a very winning strategy.
Nope. And I think you tried it in the beginning because you just don't know. As a new speaker, you just don't know. And talking about tech and talking about STEM and even talking about the things that we talked about as far as like at the Blacks in Technology conference, I think that was just natural and easy to me. I'm a woman of color. I can identify with the things that we were talking about as a moderator. So those things really, really helped me feel like the only thing I had to do was do a lot of extensive research on each panelist. And I think that's the hardest part of being a moderator, is that you got to do your research and you want people to feel like, oh, yeah, she's asking me some questions that I never heard before. So I would say if you're on the moderating side, you definitely want to become like, how you have certain journalists that you follow online.
Yeah.
Always like them because they always give good interviews. I tried to deliver that as much as I could as a moderator.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely good advice. When it comes to developing and giving speeches, do you have a process for doing that? And if so, what is it?
My process for giving speeches is to pretty much build an outline first. So number one, I would say, is build an outline. Stick to about maybe 3 to 4 speaking points, because people in this age, they just don't want to feel lost in the message. So I try to build that outline and I say, these are the 4 tips, 4 steps These are the ABC, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I try to stick to those speaking points. Number 2, I try to also make the conversation as a speaker very engaging. I want people to feel my energy. I want to feel vibrant. I want to feel like that they're excited about what I'm talking about. And then number 3, I would say another tip will probably be to make sure that you provide an opportunity for people to ask you questions. You know, sometimes people run out of time and they speak too long, and then people don't have enough time to ask a question.
That is my biggest pet peeve for public speakers in general. Just thinking about it's making me mad. So last year I went to this conference. It was a one-day conference, and there were about 20 speakers, but each speaker is supposed to speak about 5 minutes. And I'd say more than half of them went over time. And I know that because I started timing them. And I also knew that because a lot of them were speaking around lunchtime, and I was starting to get kind of hangry because they're keeping me from lunch. So, but it's so important when you are giving a speech, as you mentioned, developing an outline, 3 to 4 points maximum, because people can't take in that much more, or they'll just stop paying attention. And,
right.
And it's like, man, when it comes to public speaking, really stay within the time. It's so easy to do if you just practice beforehand and give yourself maybe like a minute or so buffer. So if you finish early, like no one's ever been mad that a speech finished early.
I actually practice. I rehearse here at home with my husband. I set my timer on my cell phone, and if I know that I'm giving 5 minutes, I'm trying to like get it to 4, and then maybe have a minute of questions. But yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, for sure. That's actually that's advice that I actually gave in the course. So it's great that we have we're on the same page there. Yeah. So I mean, you gave quite a number of great tips, and you say the way that you calm your nerves is trying to be authentic and relatable. I know for myself, even anytime I give a speech, there's always a bit of nerves there, and I think that's normal, and it's not something to really shy away from. I've always thought that having nerves before you give a speech means that you actually care about what you're talking about. So if you're not nervous at all before you're giving a speech, you don't really care what the people are going to get from what you're talking about. I mean, you probably don't even care about what you're talking about either. But besides being authentic and relatable and trying to calm your nerves, is there any other tips you would have for people that get nervous before speaking?
Because I'm not 100% like a super nervous person. I'm kind of fearless. I'm kind of like, I feel like I'm a little star. I'm a little rock star sometimes. But when I have to speak to bigger audiences, as the audience get bigger and bigger and bigger, because as you're a new speaker, sometimes you're speaking to a little bit of people. Then sometimes you're speaking to a big auditorium of people, and then sometimes you're speaking to like a whole like congregation of people, maybe at a church. Mm-hmm. I would say for me, this is my ritual. I have my own like free speaking rituals.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's important for you to develop your own speaking rituals. Like, you see how artists, they say a singer or celebrity, they say they do this before they go on stage, or they do this before they have to go out on the set. My ritual is music, getting dressed. So I try to listen to like any type of hip hop music, like that's gonna make me feel like, yeah, I'm pumped, like I'm excited, like some hip hop music. I do drink a Red Bull before I go.
Okay.
It's just for me to feel like I'm not tired. I'm ready to give you exactly what you came for, or a cup of coffee, whatever your thing is. And my husband's usually with me, so he's always there, like reinforcing, like, yeah, you got this. You a star. You got this. I would say bring a cheerleader with you.
Those are excellent. That's excellent advice. I know for myself, my ritual tends to be, in addition to, deep breathing to kind of calm your nerves, I also tend to walk around the speaking, the area where the event's being held. Just walking up and down the aisles to try to kind of dissipate any of that nervous energy. I find it kind of helpful too.
That's good. Yeah, I think I should try that one time, because normally I'm always getting there, and I think it's so important that you don't be rushing. and you don't just have to just jump on stage. So that's another good tip, is like always prepare in advance. I try to get there 30 minutes to an hour in advance, just for any mishaps with technology. If you're giving a presentation, just always try to get there in advance so you can set up. Like at the big conference, you know, I had to bring my laptop. I had to make sure the right adapter was with me. I had to bring all these different things that they didn't have. So I just think that's another good tip, is be prepared for mishaps of technology.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because you know what, you're absolutely right. That does tend to happen at conferences, doesn't it? Like, you know, you have this certain computer, and then they don't have the adapter for that computer, so that you have to, you know, do all this kind of stuff to make it happen. So yeah, definitely be prepared is important. So is there anything else that you want the people to know about, regarding anything that you're working on?
I think that they should definitely continue to follow me on Twitter, because I do a lot of things on Twitter as well. We didn't talk about Twitter, but I think what you can think, the things that you can get from me in 2019 is I'm going to be providing adding value to the career setbacks that people have in tech. How to land a job without career experience in tech, or how to land a job in tech without a college degree. I am trying to add more value, and I'm not trying to give watered down advice this year. So you can expect me, if you are in tech or you are seeking to do any type of career changes or career, you know, if you're trying to be promoted, I'm going to be trying to be providing you some sound advice. I do blog on kanikatolver.com. So I do drop a monthly blog. I will be dropping a monthly YouTube video. This month's video was how to rebrand your resume for a tech position. Next month, I think I'm going to be talking about how to land a tech job with no professional experience. So I'm trying to get into, like, what are people saying I have a problem with? And I'm trying to provide the solution, right? Because people in tech, or just people that want to be a speaker. I think I'm going to actually be releasing something about, I was talking to one of my friends, Minda Hartz, about teaching people how to pitch themselves for podcast interviews and speaking engagements. I'm going to be sharing my personal tips this year so other speakers can learn from what has worked for me as well. Excellent.
So besides going to kanikatolver.com, is there any other way that people can get in touch with you?
You can definitely follow me on Instagram at Kanika Tolver.
Okay.
You can follow me at Twitter at Kanika Tolver. You can follow me on LinkedIn at Kanika Tolver. And you can also follow me on Facebook. I have a Facebook fan page, Kanika Tolver. And, you can also follow, we're going to be launching the Career Rehab platform later on this year. So Career Rehab is on Instagram as well.
Excellent. Well, that marks the end of another episode of Teach the Geek interviews. Again, my name is Neil Thompson. I'm the founder of Teach the Geek. It's an online platform for science and engineering professionals. The first offering is a public speaking course, and it's called Teach the Geek to Speak. To learn more about it, you can go to teachthegeek.com. Again, that's teachthegeek.com. Until next time, take care, everyone.